nghe xong phần listening one này rồi đúng không?
Dạ chưa ạ.
Tức là Unit 2 là mình đã học được tí nào chưa các em?
Chưa học được tí nào của ạ.
Ok rồi, I'm sorry. À, okay, so now let's start Unit 2 and then I think that after that we can answer the 3 questions I have given you to the group. The first question is that what is a project? The second question is how many stages are there in a project life cycle? And the third question is that which tasks are there in each state? So now let's come to each slide so that after each slide we can answer all the 3 questions here. Now for the first one, that is the project phases. So let's look at the slide. Let's look at the slide and then try to answer the first questions. No, I'm sorry, the second questions that I have given to you. That is, how many stages are there in a project life cycle? So if we look at the slide here, so we can identify the stages in a project life cycle. So in fact, how many stages are there? Yes, Thùy Dương.
There are 4 stages.
Okay, good. So in fact, if we look at the one, we can see that in total there are 4 phases, or maybe there are 4 stages in a project life cycle. And if we look at that one and then turn into the clockwise, we can see that the first phase, that is initiate phase. The second phase is name planning phase. The third phase, that is execution phase. And the last one, that is the project closure. Right. And in accordance with the name of each stage here, we can know about the tasks or maybe the activities that can be done, that can be implemented, that can be carried out, that can be implemented, or that can be conducted in each phase. So for the first one, that is initiation phase, or maybe we have another one that is initiating. Mình gọi là giai đoạn khởi động của dự án. Right. So in this phase, we can see that the project definition is defined, and then they also have to identify all the project constraint, and then after that, identify the problem statements in the initiating, that is the first phase. And the second phase, that is planning phase. Sau giai đoạn khởi động của dự án sẽ là giai đoạn lập kế hoạch. So in this phase, we can see that a detailed planning is made, and they also have to estimate, and also they have to schedule all the things like maybe the project can be divided in the timeline, and maybe accordance timeline can be identified in planning phase. And also in this phase, they also have to identify on the cost estimation, maybe on the adequate human resources to do the project, and they also have to evaluate on the things that are necessary to do for the execution phase. Now the next, that is the third phase, the execution phase, hay mình còn gọi là giai đoạn thực thi. So in the execution phase, we can see that the project team, for example, the acquisition, the development, and the management, and all the other similar tasks can be done in the execution phase. And that's why we can see that most of the time, the execution phase usually accounts maybe for, how can we say, that is the time allocated into maybe 4 phases here. The time for execution account for the most. And after the execution phase, we can come to the fourth phase, that is the project closure. Mình gọi là giai đoạn nghiệm thu. So in the project closure, we can see that monitoring, controlling, closure and review. Mình gọi là nghiệm thu và kiểm tra của dự án. Right. So that is maybe about the 4 stages or the 4 phases in a project life cycle. Vậy thì mỗi vòng đời của một dự án bao giờ cũng bao gồm 4 cái giai đoạn trên. Now, so maybe for the second questions, how many stages are there in a project life cycle has been answered. Now we come to the third questions, that is, which thoughts are there in each state? So if we look at the one, could you please look at maybe the slide with me, and then after that answer my questions. So if we understand about the four phases: initiating, planning, executing, and closing, so we can answer the questions which thoughts are included in each of the phases here. So let's look at from number 1 to number 10. From number 1 to number 10. Now let's see. We have the first one, that is review the result. Review the result. Nghiệm thu kết quả. Number 2, evaluate the risk factor. I think that there is no new word. Forecast cost, no new word. Select the project team, no new words. Deliver the project, bàn giao dự án. Deliver the project. Launch a pilot project. Chạy thử dự án. We have pilot project. Dự án thử nghiệm. Obtain status report. Status report, báo cáo tình trạng hoặc báo cáo tiến độ. Validate the project. Validate the project, khởi công dự án. Allocate resources and prepare a project overview. Okay, so now let's maybe prepare with your partners, and then after that identify the tasks that can be included in each of the phases here. I will divide you into breakout rooms, and please do it very quickly in about 3 minutes, right? Cô sẽ chia các bạn vào trong nhóm nhé, và chúng ta sẽ làm nhanh trong vòng 3 phút nha các em. Sorry cả lớp, chắc là vừa rồi cái mạng nó hơi bị có vấn đề. Cô sẽ chia cả lớp mình theo breakout rooms và các bạn sẽ làm rất nhanh trong vòng 3 phút cho cô nhé. Xác định xem là với mỗi một cái phases này thì cái task nào sẽ thuộc về phase nào. Okay, now I will divide you into breakout rooms, and then after that, can you identify which tasks are included in each phase, right?